What happens when the thing you've barely dared to dream for actually comes true? How does it change you when what you've been believing for and almost given up hope on finally becomes reality? The Redefining Possible podcast spotlights guests with stories of insurmountable odds who have witnessed the impossible become possible with God. On this week's episode of Redefining Possible, I am so excited to have an amazing guest, Covell, the founder of Hollywood Prayer Network, author, speaker, producer. This woman knows the ins and outs of entertainment and is transforming it from the inside out through prayer. So I cannot wait for you all to watch and listen. Buckle up. It is an incredible journey and really shows what's possible. Welcome to Redefining Possible. I'm your host, Peyton Hoffman, and with me today is a very special guest, Covell, the founder of Hollywood Prayer Network here in Los Angeles, speaker, entrepreneur, wife, mother, teacher, author. You have done so much. First of all, are you tired?
I decided I'm going to take my first 100-year nap when I get to heaven. Other than that, I don't worry about it.
I love it. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. I am so excited and honored to have you. And really, with Redefining Possible, what's so fun is that I get to bring in guests and talk about those stories and those circumstances where really the Lord made this thing that looked impossible become possible. And for you, we were talking about this, it's really the foundation of Hollywood Prayer Network.
Yes.
So take us back, for listeners who aren't familiar with the creation of Hollywood Prayer Network, how this came about. First of all, what is it? And then just take us back 20 plus years ago to when this all started.
Oh, great. I love it. Thank you for having me. I love you. So I'm a producer. I've worked on specials and documentaries and TV projects and films, and I was in the middle of producing. Mm-hmm. And when my husband and I first got married, Jim is a composer, so we were very involved in the entertainment industry and still are actively involved. We started realizing this is hard to work here. This is hard to make a living here. This is hard to find work and build a career. And so we've been married 41 years.
Amazing.
And 42 years ago, we started a prayer group before we got married, and brought in industry professionals to pray for each other because we needed to build community. We needed to strengthen each other's countenance in working in this place. And that prayer group was life-changing for all of us. We had friends, we worked with each other, we built our careers together, we prayed together. It lasted 33 years.
That is amazing.
It started from 6 people who barely said they were Christians to anybody to almost 200 people. Hundreds went through because it's a very nomadic industry.
Right.
And we realized we were strengthening in our faith, we were getting better work, we were building community. It was very exciting. But the one thing we all still struggled with was the church hated Hollywood and Hollywood hated the church. So here we are, Christians in Hollywood, working in secular entertainment. We wanted to be salt and light, but people were telling other Christians, don't come here. They were telling us, you can't keep your faith and live there. And Christians in the industry professionals in the industry were like, you're a Christian? There's a tension between the two worlds. So as I was working, as I was building community here of Christians, I thought, I'm getting mad. Why do Christians hate Hollywood and Hollywood hate Christians? We're stuck in this gap and I want to fix it. So I really realized that I started the Hollywood Prayer Network out of anger. I wanted to do something about this. And I thought, okay, how do I build a bridge between the two? I thought, okay, I can't get Hollywood to like the church. We have boycotted, we have pointed fingers.
You never know.
But I do believe if you pray for somebody, you can't hate them. So I thought, I will challenge the church to pray for Hollywood, and then their hearts will start melting. And they will stop hating them, and that will build a bridge. It will come from the Christians embracing and loving the people in the entertainment industry. It's not going to happen the other way around. And so I started, and I take credit for having the slowest growing ministry on the planet. It was one painful conversation at a time, going to Christians and saying, would you pray for Hollywood? And they'd look at me at first and go, pray for Hollywood? Why?
Really?
Oh, awful. Other people pray for Hollywood. I'm not praying for that Satan's pit, for that hellhole, for Sodom and Gomorrah.
Wow.
And it soon hit me, you know what? Hollywood is not Sodom and Gomorrah. Hollywood is Nineveh. And I have to pass on the message that this place can be redeemed.
Yes.
So I started doing this 24 years ago. And started the first video that we put together. It was called The Hollywood Crisis. And it was a crisis of faith, because I wanted the two worlds to embrace, not even embrace each other, just acknowledge each other and be okay about each other. And so it was a crisis to me that the church was so angry at Hollywood and Hollywood hated the church. Wow. So one person at a time, I got this person to agree to pray, I got this person to agree to pray, and we'd slowly build a little community. And now, 24 years later, because of God's grace and faithfulness, we have 170 chapters of the Hollywood Prayer Network in 42 countries.
I was going to say, it is so global. I mean, it's not even... I love being able to say it was founded here in Los Angeles, it started here in Los Angeles, but it never stayed in Los Angeles.
No.
And I love that. I mean, just over the years, that journey, and it continues to grow.
It continues.
Which
But
is
I'm telling you, it's still moments of discouragement to me, because I don't believe it's a battle against flesh and blood.
Right.
I don't get mad at people who say, I hate Hollywood, I'm not going to pray for them. What I realize is it's a spiritual battle.
Right.
It's a battle against spiritual principalities and authorities in the heavenly realms, and the enemy does not want Christians in the world's most influential mission field. He is here to steal, kill, and destroy. And what does he go after? Ministries, marriages, and churches.
Yeah.
And so here I am wanting prayer for Hollywood, wanting Christians in this powerhouse city of storytelling that impacts the whole world. I'm going to have resistance. I'm going to have an enemy. So I got really compassionate for Christians who hated Hollywood.
Wow.
And I get a chance to speak all over, to just say, you know what? I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the enemy for letting you believe a lie.
Wow.
And I want to challenge you to not believe that lie anymore.
Absolutely. You touched on something that I think is really wonderful. You said, you know, the Hollywood is the world's most influential mission field. Yes. Can we unpack that a little bit? Talk to me about why you say that, and really, if that's true, how are the folks in Hollywood, you know, artists, producers, writers, would you consider them prophets? How would you consider them working into that mission field?
You just got me to start right away with prophets. First of all, artists are prophets.
Okay.
You look at all of the prophets in the Old Testament, they were all performance artists.
Wow.
They were all having to go against people who didn't want to hear what they say, and say it in a way that they could accept it, that they could hear it, that they could embrace it.
Oh, that's so good.
And I realize, as prophets, we're either reflecting what's going on in culture or projecting what's coming. You look at songwriters, you look at themes in movies and in TV shows, and you see influencers. They're saying something. And it really hit me the strongest years ago when I went to see the movie about the beginning of rap.
I don't know if I know that one.
Oh, yeah, yes, you do. You do. How could I forget it? Okay. I'll
Beginning
remember.
of rap. Okay.
Yes, it's the story of why rap music was created.
Okay. Was it a documentary? It was a documentary.
No, it was a movie.
Okay.
It was a movie.
So
No,
interesting.
it was a documentary. Okay, I'm going to remember.
I think I did see a documentary
because this is
about
really
that.
important. It's always on my brain, and I just forgot.
I love it.
But I watched it, and I realized, you know what? I used to hate rap music.
Wow.
And now, not that I'm going to listen to it all the time, but I understand why it was created.
Yeah.
There are a group of people who have a life where they're not listened to. They don't have a voice in culture. They're trying to say something. I'm stuck. This is awful. Help me.
Yeah.
And how they expressed that was through rap music. And that opened up a world where we started noticing there are a whole group of people in the ghetto, in the inner city, who are stuck in poor areas. They are smart people. They're talented people. They have a voice. It just can't be heard until you start paying attention to them.
I love that.
And this was how it started. And I thought, okay, this is the importance of artists. We all have a message. My heart is to reach the heart of these prophets so that they know the heart of God and embrace Him. And when someone is able to embrace the heart of God, their message changes. So I don't blame content. I don't try to stop movies that have sex or violence or all of that. What I'm saying is pray for the hearts of the people creating the content. And if their heart changes, the content will change.
I love that.
There's no blame. There's no getting angry. There's no trying to change things. As Christians, unfortunately, we feel uncomfortable with dealing with issues that are hard for us to deal with. And so it's easier to get rid of movies that have sex and violence and swearing and all the things we don't like.
Right.
It's harder to look at them and say, you know what, I'm going to pray for the people creating those. Because if their heart changes, there won't be as many of these movies anymore, and we'll start seeing the heart of God coming through movies.
I love it.
Now, I'm not saying we want all faith-based movies.
Okay.
Faith-based movies, yes. I want to clear that.
Yeah.
Faith-based movies are great. It's a genre. It's got a voice.
Yep.
I'm saying any story that people tell will change if the heart of the person creating it changes.
I love that.
For instance, all of the action movies.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have to become Christian action movies. But if the people creating fabulous action movies changes, you're going to be able to watch them with your family. Be just as nervous, be just as excited, but not have to deal with the things that you're uncomfortable with your children.
No,
watching.
that's so good.
A great example is U2.
Yeah.
The incredible rock band U2. Bono and two others of the group of four, three of them are committed believers.
Which is amazing.
It's never labeled a faith-based band.
Right.
U2 is an international band. Now, the best thing is they came from Ireland, so that they're not got that American label on it. But they talk about hard things. They talk about godly things. Their lyrics are the spectrum of humanity. But the heart of the lyrics are that God loves us.
Which is so good.
It's so good. And so, Washington, D.C. is the seat of power.
Right.
Hollywood is the seat of influence. Artists are always upstream of the politician.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
The artist creates culture. The politician legalizes it.
Well, and kind of reacts to it sometimes,
and reacts to it. They have to, because they're like, oh, this isn't going to work, and what do we do? But politics is never upstream of the artist.
Yeah, wow, that's so interesting.
And so if we realize the influence that artists have, that storytellers have, if we understand how much God loves them, God's first act was creation.
It's so amazing.
And what does he say? In the beginning was the Word. The power of the Word. Stories, lyrics, poetry, books, journalism, news. It's all the Word.
Well, and music is words
and
too.
Music, the lyrics
stories.
of songs. Oh my gosh, they're such powerful messages. So if we understand that all the artists have a voice that can either come from the heart of God or come from the heart of man.
Yeah.
And so don't blame what comes out.
Right.
Understand it and say, wow, let's pray for those people. They're impacting the world.
I love that. I love your take on that of, hey, we're not trying to push faith on top of everything.
No.
What we're saying is, hey, everything that's created can come from a place where it actually is coming from the heart of God if the people creating it are in line and prayed over and prayed for and in line with the heart of God. And so, I love specifically kind of saying, hey, because there is a camp of folks who will say, oh, well, we have to have more faith-based, movies, TV shows, music, whatever it is. And then I love your point of like, hey, that's amazing, but it's also amazing to have just any kind of content that's out there that is able to be filtered. Let's put it that way, filtered through this, through the heart of God and through people who are helping to create it, whether it's no matter what they're doing. And I love that because there's so many roles and people that touch this content, whether it's creating a gaming show, whether it's creating,
Gosh, yes.
you know,
I'll tell you a really
anything.
controversial one, horror movies.
Ooh, that
Here's
is
how I feel about
controversial.
horror movies.
Okay.
I think more Christians should be making them.
Wow.
I do, and I'll tell you why. Because horror is a genre. If you look at the genres, there are horror movies, there are ninja movies,
Yeah.
there are martial arts movies, there are Christian movies, there are all different kinds of movies. Tyler Perry is so successful. He has his own genre of movies.
That's true.
We have
That's true.
so many genre of movies. And you know what? No genre is worse or better than another
Right.
one. It's who's creating them and what their take is on them.
Yeah.
If more Christians would make horror movies, they would have the real understanding of good and evil.
Yeah.
What is good? What is evil? What is their battle?
What does that look like?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they would know the heart of God does not run from evil. The heart of God combats evil with love, with prayer, with wisdom, with discernment. And so in a horror movie, show evil. Why should Christians be afraid of showing evil? Evil is all over the world, and it's worse than we even know because so much of it is veiled.
Yes.
So show the evil. But if you're doing it from a Christian perspective, evil is not going to win.
Right.
We know ultimately God is the victor. So a Christian can't write a horror movie and have evil win.
Right.
A Christian can't write a horror movie and glorify evil.
Yeah.
Because we understand how dark it is.
I think that's an important thing to say, too.
Yes.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Yes, we have to know how dark it is. It's real and it's dark and it can kill us if we don't understand the power we have with God to kill it.
Well, and I personally am not somebody, I can't watch horror movies.
I can't
Like, it
either.
just-
I don't even like them. No.
But I will say to that, the thing that really jumped out at me as you were speaking was that it's all about reaching different audiences. And there are audiences who watch that maybe are not going to watch something else.
Exactly.
And
They are
so-
set in that genre and they'll go
Yeah.
to any horror movie. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad or high budget or
Right,
low budget
right.
or no one ever heard of it. There are committed people in these genres.
Right.
They're like, you will get some people to listen to every country and Western song there is on the planet. And you'll get people who will have nothing to do with it.
Yep.
You'll have people who will go to every opera they can find, and you'll have people who roll their eyes over opera. So why should Christians be afraid to step into one of these genres?
Yep.
Why don't they go in with their heart? And what changed my mind, and I have seen a few horror movies just because I wanted to understand
Wow.
this. I hate them, but I was so moved by two that I saw, and they were by Scott Derrickson,
I don't know him.
Christian
Yeah.
who makes horror movies. He
Wow,
did The
okay.
Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Okay.
He did The Black Phone. He did quite a few horror movies.
Interesting.
From a Christian perspective, and I'm telling you, there is the gospel all over those, and they're horrifying.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to see them again.
Right.
But it's such a great example of showing good and showing evil from a Christian perspective. They were so successful as horror movies. Everybody went to see them. And you know what? They heard the gospel.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, and what's so interesting, just thinking to how you created HPN, and how all of this kind of, I mean, now it's infiltrating, it kind of feels like you're sending 007, Christians into these different.
Below the radar.
It is, it sort of feels like that. It's like, okay, they're 007, you're going into all these different areas that people don't go, and really through prayer, I mean, prayer is where it all starts, obviously. But then also, hey, what role are you in that you can influence that industry or influence that area and affect change? And what I think is so interesting was something that you kind of touched on a little bit in the very beginning, which I want to talk about the lies. When you were founding HPN, so I was chatting with someone earlier today about this, and let me know if I'm forgetting any, but it was, you're following your ego, you're not really a Christian, Hollywood doesn't need prayer, why Hollywood? Like
You're going to lose your faith.
Oh, lose your faith. Oh, I hadn't heard that one.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, no, you're going to go
Ooh.
in there and lose your faith. You're going to compromise. You're going to get sucked into the culture.
Wow.
I mean,
So these were all, as you're starting
Real.
it, this is what people were telling you. People you knew.
People still tell me, but not as many.
Okay. So people you knew. People like, was it coming from
Friends,
Christians, non-Christians?
family. Oh, Christians.
Really?
Oh, all from Christians.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Which is another ploy of the enemy.
Yeah.
How does he get us to be discouraged? Is to have Christians turn on Christians.
Wow.
I can take anything a non-believer says because I know they're just not coming from the same perspective,
Right.
and so it's okay. I'm not going to try to make them act a certain way when they don't know my foundation of Jesus.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm not offended at all by that. What we cannot be offended by are about what other Christians say to us, because we expect all Christians to get along.
Yeah.
We expect Christians to pray for each other and encourage each other and love each other and lift each other up. And the enemy's like, oh no, I'm going to divide you as much as I possibly can. And so we get really hurt by other Christians. We get offended. Yeah. We have to have an unoffendable heart. And so when these Christians were coming to me at first and saying, no, I won't pray for Hollywood.
Wow.
I was on a Christian live radio show. I was on the phone on a radio show. They found out I was praying for both unknown Christians and celebrity Christians. They're like, pray for celebrities. What a waste of time. They hung up on me on the radio show.
Karen.
And I'm like, this was their show and they invited me and they hung up on me.
No.
So bizarre. I found myself on hate lists from churches who wanted nothing to do with Hollywood and claimed I was trying to do a ministry for my own power and that I really wasn't a Christian and stay away from Hollywood Prayer Network.
Wow.
I've had the wildest things, and what I learned is I have an unoffendable heart. It's the enemy, it's not the person. And I take it as a compliment. Wow. If the enemy's trying to discourage me, I must be doing something that's worthwhile. So bring it on. I'm going to keep going. I'm just way too stubborn for that.
Well, and I love that, and obviously God picks the right person. So, the Lord knows what He's doing. But I love that in that it helped actually shape an unoffendable heart, because Hollywood, well, entertainment in general, and just even life can be offendable. So
yes,
I love that shaped that unoffendable heart in you, and a persevering heart too, because just to get to where you are 24 years later, to get through the first year, the perseverance that it took is
probably the first 5 years were brutal.
Wow.
The next 5 years were really difficult. The next 5 years, I felt like maybe
a little better.
I'm making a little difference. I got to keep going.
Wow.
And then about 10 years ago, I started feeling like, okay,
things have shifted.
Keep going. I see a little shift.
Wow. Now talk to us about, for those who are listening, so I've only been in Los Angeles myself a little over 6.5 years. So, I came in from outside this industry. So I came from a completely different industry, different background. Obviously seen plenty of films, but wasn't a part of the industry the way that you've been and many, many others have been. So talk to me a little bit about what you've seen change in those 24 years, because I come in and I don't, again, as an outsider coming into LA, I didn't feel like at least 6.5 years ago that it was like the church versus Hollywood.
It wasn't, which is why you're right on schedule. About 10 years ago is where I really feel like that started changing.
Okay.
And anybody that comes in before them, I think you get a different perspective. I'll tell you a few changes. One is, when I first started here, Christians were afraid to say they were Christians.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was all under the radar.
Okay.
There'd be like the secret handshake,
Wow.
Because there was so much resistance to it.
Okay.
In the industry.
Now, unpack resistance. Like, you wouldn't get a job if
you
you
wouldn't
were
get
a
a
Christian?
job. I know
Wow.
about 10 people in the first decade that I was here that lost their jobs because they got fired because they were Christians.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a big difference.
Wow.
The second thing is the church hated Hollywood so much they literally told people, do not come here. We don't see that now. So that was the second thing.
Wow.
The third thing is there was no community of Christians.
Okay.
And so people were on their own. They literally were here decades and not knew if there was another Christian in town.
So isolated, completely isolated.
Completely isolated.
Wow.
And what I learned are the three main things the enemy did to stop Christians from being here.
Yeah.
And there's still major obstacles,
Yes.
but it's better.
Yes.
Isolation, discouragement,
Yes.
and fear.
Wow.
Those three things.
And fear of
Man, fear you can't pay your rent, fear you've made the wrong choice in your career. Should I have just been a teacher and not been here?
Why am I out here doing this? Yeah.
Fear of what the church is going to think of you by being in Hollywood. Fear of what the industry is going to think of you by being a Christian.
Yeah.
And just fear of what have I done? Everybody who comes to Hollywood at some point hits the wall.
Yeah, I hear that from friends who have moved out here, and it's interesting because the discouragement piece is a piece that I think I would expect to see, because you're auditioning for jobs and
you get rejected
a lot, and that's just part of it. The flip side, the piece that I see in that I think is a gap, is that so many folks that I know of that are just high creative, beautiful people, brilliant people, come out here and they forget that entertainment's an industry and it's a business.
Yes.
And I just don't think people get prepared for that in the way that they need to be.
No,
and so that's the gap that I see.
It's a huge gap now.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, the naivete of Christians who come here. There are Christians from two extremes. They come here because their career is the most important thing, and they're just into that, and that's all there is. And God, if I have time for church, maybe on Sunday, I don't know. Then there's the Christian, God called me here. Yes. I am here on a mission.
Yeah.
We are going to change Hollywood.
They probably are. They probably
well,
are.
if they have a different attitude, and that is to come here as a servant, to understand how hard it is, to know it's a business.
To know it's a business.
To be wise in the dealings, to get to know the mission field. Here's a contrast that I show. If you're a Christian and you go to any mission field, okay, you're raising support, you're a missionary, you want to go to Africa, you want to go to India, you want to go somewhere around the world. You find a Christian missionary organization, you sign up, you have to raise money.
Yep.
You have to learn the culture of the place you're going, the language of the place you're going, the traditions, the gods that they worship. How is life going to be there? They prepare you.
You research.
You are researching, you're preparing, so that within about 2 years, you get sent off, you get prayed for, you get commissioned, and you're ready to go. Christians come to Hollywood. God called me, here I come. They get in their car. They don't have enough money. They don't understand the culture. They don't know how hard the business is. They don't know they have to have experience. They don't know anything. And then they get mad that there aren't Christians here helping them. And what I say is, take time to get to know this place, to learn the culture, learn the language. We have a language here, and you know what it is? It's the language of lying. You got to figure out who's telling the truth. Because because our image is so important. And so you have to say things that make you feel important, make you feel like you're successful. There's a desperation underneath here that you have to look through and say, is that person really telling the truth?
That's one of the things, I love that you touched on that, because that's something that I personally am seeing change with this generation that's in college and coming out of college. Because I guess I was sort of part of the last generation that grew up pre-social media, and then, grew up before the internet, but also with the internet, and then social media. So it was kind of that whole trajectory. But the students that I see right now, and those that are, I would say, newly graduated within, young 20s, they have such, and it's the most beautiful thing, and I love it so much. They have such a barometer for authenticity.
Yes.
And because
God.
they grew up in a world that is, the TikTok world, the Snapchat world.
A lot of spin.
It's a lot of fake. And it's a lot of image. And there's just what I'm seeing.
They don't want it anymore.
Yeah, I'm seeing this pushback where they're just like, no, I want the thing that's real. And I love that, because I think that's also what's drawing their hearts to the Lord.
Yes.
But I'm seeing that's what I'm so excited for, that generation to come into entertainment, because I really feel strongly that generation is going to come in and shift a lot of things.
That it is. Yeah. And one thing I want to encourage them, and I do talk to them about this, it's a beautiful thing. It's hard to deconstruct your faith.
Yeah.
But it happens. You have to learn, I don't want what my parents went through.
Right.
I want something more authentic.
It has to be your own.
But they also have to deconstruct their culture.
Yeah.
Because culture has taught us a lot of things that we think are facts.
Right.
And they're not.
Well, give a couple examples of that, because I think that's really just
okay. I'll give you a very silly one first, then I'll give you more practical. I grew up as a child being told by my mother and all the parents that once you have lunch, You can't go in the pool for 30 minutes because it'll give you cramps.
Oh, I heard that growing up. Wait, is that not true?
It's not true. It's not true, but culture. So we would sit there at the public pool for 30 minutes waiting to go in because we didn't want to have cramps. It's not the truth. So there are so many cultural things we believe. In the Christian culture, I'll give you one. If you don't have a 1 hour quiet time alone with God every single morning, you're not a good Christian.
Wow.
Creative people get panicked over that.
Yes, of course.
We have to do it. I have so many ways I love to spend time with God and memorize scripture and pour into growing in my own faith. But it's not a 1 hour daily morning quiet time. I have other times that I do it. I don't ever listen to the radio in the car. That's my time with God. Before I go to bed, I have some time. During the day, I stop and I have a whole thing of verses and I'm memorizing verses. I have to create my own way of growing with God and not feel like I'm a bad Christian because I don't have that 1 hour in the morning every single day. So there are cultural beliefs. There are beliefs, and one of them is, flee from evil. That's what the verse says, flee from evil. So don't go to Hollywood because if you go to Hollywood, you're walking right into evil. That's not what that verse means. That's cultural Christianity.
Right.
When you're tempted, if you're an alcoholic, don't go into the bar.
Yes.
That's fleeing from evil. Yeah. You can go to Hollywood, you can go to business, you can go in the universities, you can go anywhere and you're going to find good and you're going to find evil. Yeah. So do you stay away just because there's some evil? There's so many things culturally in American culture and in Christian culture that I think has to be a part of the deconstruction.
I love that. And also just to your point too of there shouldn't be any shame in this.
No.
And I think, like the hour quiet time, it's, okay, you might be a mom with 2 really young kids. You might have 5 minutes.
Exactly.
That might be and you know what? That might be the only 5 minutes you have for you and Jesus in that day.
Thank you.
And there's freedom in that. Like I believe there's so much grace in that. And as a creative, an hour, you may not, honestly, because of the creatives that I know, they have trouble. Like I can sit down and I can focus for an hour on one thing and that's fine.
And that's beautiful. I would love that.
A lot of creatives are not wired that way. No. And so it's like they can do 10 minutes and then they got to go do 10 minutes of this thing over here. And it doesn't make them ADHD. It's just you're creative and your brain is thinking of a bunch of different things and you need that change of pace and scenery in order to continue to be creative. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, as long as Jesus is first and we're seeking him. I love the verse that we should, what is God's will for you concerning your life?
Yeah.
Pray constantly, give thanks in all things, and rejoice always.
Yeah.
If we do those things, and it's because we are seeking God every minute, and he's a part of our every moment of our day, God loves that. He honors that. But if I didn't have that hour, does that not count? We have to be more open with how God deals with each of us individually, obeying the Bible. But a lot of our Christian beliefs,
right?
I don't find them in the Bible.
There's definitely cultural.
There's cultural influence.
There's definitely that,
and there's cultural American
influence
that we have to be aware of. We have to fall in love with Jesus.
Yeah.
Another thing that I thought was going to be impossible was I have political beliefs. Everybody should. We should know what's going on. We should keep up to date of what's happening in our world.
Right, of course.
And we should have an opinion on it, and we should live by that. But I have to have a non-political ministry. I'm in LA, I'm in the entertainment industry.
People have views.
Everybody has views. And creatives are passionate about their views.
Yeah.
So whatever you believe, and you don't assume a Christian is one way or the other, you don't assume somebody in the industry is one way or the other.
That's very true.
And I have found I have to stay away from politics. I have to lift up Jesus, and I have to pray for people's hearts and love people regardless of their beliefs or their lifestyle. And the freedom of bringing Jesus into a conversation versus bringing politics into a conversation
so good.
Is unbelievable.
It's so good. So that was a breakthrough for you, being able to say, hey, because that is a thing where I could see people saying, okay, well, if you start it in LA, it's going to have to be affiliated with a certain thing or
Yeah.
another thing. And you're like, no, I want everyone to feel welcome.
I want everybody, and the diversity of our membership is unbelievable.
I love
And
that.
I say, we are not a general laundry.
Yeah.
We're a specified dry cleaner. This is all we do. We do Jesus and entertainment, and that's all I know.
that's it.
I don't know anything else. I don't want to have an opinion on anything else, and I don't want to bring in anything else.
But I love that because that niche is what's kept it pure, I believe. It's really
that in prayer. That's what I believe. Yeah.
I mean, but being like, we're about Jesus and we're about entertainment and we're not about other things.
No.
Like, this is it. And I love that. Transforming just the last 24 years of HPN, how has this changed your belief in what God can do?
Oh, I am a totally different person. I don't even know who that person was when I started.
Wow, really?
I had a gut feeling I needed to be a bridge or try to be a bridge between church and entertainment.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that meant.
Okay.
And what Jim and I found along the way is we found with ministry, with work, with kids, with everything we were doing, that we needed a mission statement for our marriage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for your marriage.
For our marriage. And that mission statement
love
was,
that.
God brought us together for a unique reason that no other couple can do. What is that? What eternal significance can we do
love
together that no one else can do?
Yeah.
And that we couldn't do apart. And it tied in the Hollywood Prayer Network because we both found we had an absolute passion for this. I run it, but he is...
Oh, he's passionate about
Oh,
it.
he's so passionate about it.
Next time we'll have Jim on. We'll have both of you
Oh
on
my
together,
gosh. It came down to three things that we know. God brought us on this planet and brought us together and brought us the prayer network for three reasons. One is we are passionate about prayer.
Yeah.
We believe man can't do anything.
No.
God does everything. We have to turn to him. We have to need him. We have to talk to him. We have to depend on him.
I love it.
And that's when we start seeing things happen.
Yes.
So prayer, foundational. Jim and I have been married 41 years, and we have prayed together every single day of our marriage.
I love that.
Except one time I was in Russia, and I wasn't allowed to talk to him. But
Other than that,
we call on the phone wherever we are. We don't miss it.
It's amazing.
The second thing is we realize uniquely together that Hollywood is the world's most influential mission field, and we are passionate about telling people about that. So we speak together, we support each other when the other one's doing something. We want to give out that message, and that's part of the Hollywood Prayer Network.
Absolutely.
To give that message. The third thing is we believe every Christian needs to share their faith.
Yeah.
And so we have taught a class in Hollywood for 35 years together called How to Talk About Jesus Without Freaking Out.
I mean, that's a real thing for people who have not done this.
Yeah. It is
Honestly.
a lot of industry professionals have gone through it. We a few years ago we changed it to, we call it the J-bomb.
I love it.
How to talk,
I love
text,
it.
and post about Jesus without being canceled.
Wow.
And we realized if we can empower Christians to be so confident in their faith that people are going to be attracted to them,
That's so good.
then they can share their faith. We're not out to try to change anybody.
Yeah.
There's a great Anne Lamott quote, and I love Anne Lamott as a Christian writer, and she said, lighthouses are not running around the harbor trying to grab all the boats.
That's
They
very
stay
true.
in one place and shine their light.
Yep.
And that's what I think Christians in Hollywood should be.
Yeah.
If we can stand firm and shine our light, we're going to make an eternal difference.
And be unafraid.
And be unafraid, and unoffended.
Yeah. Well, and just stable. I think that there is so much, especially in entertainment, that changes day to day. You've got strikes, you've got, I mean, there's
fires,
just so
we've got
many things.
earthquakes, we've got riots,
Yes.
we've got so much in our city.
And you come back and you're like, who are the rocks? Like, who are the ones that are stable?
Yeah.
When the world is going crazy, who are the ones? And it should be the Christians. I mean,
it
really
should be.
And in entertainment, here's the other thing, it's like expect change. I mean, it should be
Oh,
changing.
gosh, yes.
Things should be changing.
Yes.
And so, hey, let's not get all rocked with that. Let's go with it and say, okay, well, how can we continue to be the stable force in the midst of the change that we're expecting to happen? Because that's life. I mean, that's how this goes.
It's so true. And one of the things that also comes into play with me, and I know I'm bringing up so much, I'm sorry.
It's wonderful.
But when I first started, the enemy was really trying to make me think this was impossible and to just give it up.
Yeah.
And one
Because it
of
was going to be so big.
I had no idea. I had no idea. And I still feel like we're a well-kept secret.
Yeah.
I really
in
do.
some ways you are. It's really, I mean, less so after this podcast, but in some ways, in some ways it's true. I think there's still so many people who don't even know.
Don't even have any
and don't
idea.
realize it's global. It might be in their country and they don't even know.
Yeah.
So.
And in LA. I met, one of the big things I think is a part of witnessing, is a part of sharing our faith, is hospitality.
Yes.
And I think we need to embrace people, whoever they are, I don't care. Bring them in, have a meal with them. Every event we do, we serve food.
Yes.
It's like, that's a part of loving people.
And that's just, I mean, pro tip for LA in general. Like, aside from any kind of ministry event, just pro tip in LA, people will come for food.
They will.
They really will.
They will do it. Let them eat, these poor people trying to make a living here.
This is a hard city. Feed them.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah. I love that.
So a year ago, we had a young man that we met, lovely guy, felt lonely, and we said, well, come on over to eat. We were about to pray for dinner. It was just me and Jim and this guy, and I love him. He's so great. And he said, can I just tell you something first? He said, I'm a little blown away. And we said, why? And he goes, I've been in LA 7 years.
Wow.
And I have never had a meal in a home.
What?
In
Never?
7 years. No.
Whoa.
So it reminds you of the isolation and the loneliness and the fact that if we reach out and just love anybody, they're hungry.
Oh my goodness.
They're not hungry for dogma. They're not hungry for propaganda. They're hungry for love. And that's our only job.
And that's the job.
Our only job.
What would you say, because I'm just thinking to viewers and listeners they're in a place where maybe the Lord's put something on their heart, whether it's a ministry or a business, something to start, and it looks impossible, as it always does in the beginning. So what advice would you give them?
Do you want advice just for Christians or advice for anybody?
I think both.
Okay.
Let's do both.
I believe if we have a desire to do something, and it's not something that's going to hurt anybody else, but it's something that either out of anger, out of passion, out of excitement, if we have an idea, I believe we need to move on it.
Yeah.
I believe we have to go, don't listen to somebody else. Get advice, but take the overall advice.
Right.
Don't take one person who's telling you to stop.
Yes.
Or one person who's telling you to go. Get overall advice. But if there's a burning in your heart to do something, I believe it's from God, whether you believe in him or not.
Yeah.
I believe we are all created to do at least one big thing on this earth.
Yeah.
And if we can find what that is, it can open up doors for other things. It can give us incredible satisfaction.
Yeah.
And it can make an eternal difference.
I love that.
Regardless of what anybody believes, to be encouraged to be an entrepreneur, to be encouraged to walk forward with a vision that you have, I think is from God.
I love that. And it's so true, because the way I see it is, if you're aware of a problem and you have kind of this fire within you, or you have this need to want to solve it. Like you had that with, you said, no one's doing this. What's wrong with this?
What do I do? Yes.
But here's the thing, there's, 40 million people in California that never saw that as a problem. So what I think is, when something is, and you may not even know how to solve it, but you just are like, this is a problem.
Yes, and God gave me the eyes to see it.
Yeah.
And I think that happens with everybody. People who invent things, people who start movements, people who create an object, whatever it is, you are so right. First of all, how many people really had that idea?
Right.
How many people moved on that idea? And how many people were given favor for it to open up?
For it to open up all the doors. Yeah.
It's not about us. It's about us having something that God gave us, and we have to move forward and be obedient and be excited about it and not be stopped by hindering, not be stopped by negative words. All of the best leaders that I have studied or read about in the past, there are always major obstacles in their way with people saying, don't do that. Don't do it. That's stupid. That's wrong. That's bad. Whatever it is. And they knew in their gut that this is something I need to do. And those are the people I get excited about.
I love it. Well, I'm so excited about you. I thank you for saying yes. First of all, to Hollywood Prayer Network, to that call on your life to be obedient, despite all the impossible odds, despite what everyone said. And and the few people that still may be nagging and saying things. I'm just so grateful, and I know that this industry would be very different without a powerhouse team and ministry behind it, praying for it every single day. So I just
so much.
love it. I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for your yes. And I know it is transforming lives that you won't even see this side of eternity. So I am just so thankful, and I've loved having you today. It's
Thank
been
you.
so special.
And I'll tell you our family motto, never give up, never surrender.
I love it. I love it. Well, what a way to end this episode of Redefining Possible. Thank you all so much for joining today. Can't wait to see you next time. What happens when the thing you've barely dared to dream for actually comes true? How does it change you when what you've been believing for and almost given up hope on finally becomes reality? The Redefining Possible podcast spotlights guests with stories of insurmountable odds who have witnessed the impossible become possible with God.